I'm Tracy Lambert from Lines from the Vine. Tonight I wanted to bring you a little review of a site that I'm using called FreezEasy. Erin at FreezEasy has put together what I think is probably one of the most organized, efficient freezer meal systems that I think I've ever seen. A little background, if you don't know me, my blog site is Lines from the Vine. I've been blogging since 2005. We currently have 14 children in our house. I'm homeschooling 7 of them. We also have some small businesses, and we're just involved in the community. So life is pretty busy around here. And one of the things that I have done throughout mine and Paul's marriage is to try to keep our freezer stocked with freezer meals. Some of them that I've tried are just sort of hit and miss. They don't taste exceptional. And some of them, I've learned that some ingredients aren't terribly, well, they're just not great if you try to reheat them. Pastas sometimes are odd. Potatoes are odd. You have to learn a few tricks to be able to freeze these. And so, anyway, a couple of months ago, I began to see these meal systems online, and I thought, I'd really like to look at each of those and figure out if there's a more efficient way to plan our meals, because we are such a large family. We do have a lot of busyness and craziness around us all the time. As much as I can, make our meal planning more efficient and time-saving and definitely more cost-effective, I would like to do that. And so I started trying each of these meals. In the coming months, I'm going to bring to you other reviews that I'm doing. I'm pretty much trying every one that I find. So right now, just to give you an idea, I have subscriptions to Deals to Meals and to Six Sisters. So if you stay tuned, I'll bring you reviews on those in the next couple of weeks. But this is a different plan. This is just freezer meals. It's not going to be new recipes delivered to your email box every week. This is a one-time payment that you make, and she gives you access to the website that gives you a lot of different things that can help you in your freezer meal process. So I was going to just sort of highlight all of her features on her site so that you'll have a good idea of what to expect when you visit the FreezEasy website. Okay, so the first thing you're going to find at FreezEasy is a free freezer cooking workshop. And you don't have to sign up. You don't have to sign our email list. I don't think. Maybe you do. But anyway, it's completely free. So if you're thinking that you've tried freezer meals and the recipes don't turn out right, she's going to show you how to use recipes that will. If you think you don't have enough space, she's going to show you how to make space and how to store your meals so that you'll have enough space for those meals. I will tell you from personal experience, when Paul and I were first married and I started trying to freeze enough meals for us for a month, we only had one of the small refrigerators that has the freezer unit above the fridge. I was easily able to get 30 meals in there. I packed every one of them in a gallon-sized Ziploc, smushed them to get all the air out, and they just stacked like little pancakes in the freezer, and we had a whole month worth of meals from me just cooking, or just preparing for an afternoon. If you are worried your family won't like the meals on Erin's site are pretty generic. There's a few that I think my family might not like. I haven't tried those yet. The ones that I've made today are just pretty generic. I mean, it's barbecue chicken. Most people like barbecue chicken. If there's an ingredient your family doesn't like, what I'm finding about Erin's meals is that it's easy enough to adapt those recipes or change out ingredients so that they will be more suitable for your family's taste. You think you don't have time to do this. Tonight, while dinner was being prepared by one of my other daughters, I assembled 7 meals in 50 minutes. And actually, Erin says you can do 10 meals in an hour, but that is if you have pre-prepped your ingredients. I actually started with the rotisserie chickens whole. I started without my cooked pasta, and I still got 7 meals in 50 minutes. I think that's pretty great. And I have a roaster oven cooking with broth, because once I deboned my rotisserie chickens, then I got my stock started. So actually 50 minutes to start an entire roaster oven full of stock, to oversee my regular family dinners made, and then 7 main dishes for other nights. And that, you just can't beat that. That's quick, that's easy. So, and if you think you don't have enough time, I mean, if you're thinking an hour is too much, just think about how much time you put into dinner every night. I'm sure you're spending more than an hour. And also, you make time for what you want to make time for. So if this is something that's really important, I'm sure you can figure out how to fit an hour in. As a general rule, her meal plans are for 10 meals. You can choose a couple of different options when you pay your fee. She has an all chicken group, an all beef group, an all pork chops group, and then the combo plan that includes different kinds of meat. Each of those plans are $7 each, or you can get the introductory bundle for $25. Personally, I think that's a bargain. When you go into the grocery store with meals like this pre-planned, you actually, though you're making a lot more meals than you might ordinarily make in a week, you really do save money. And I'm saying this coming from a woman who right now, even though I have 14 children, have 13 living at home, and then it's my husband and I eating. So, you know, I'm saving money for a family of 15. So I know that for a smaller family, this would probably be really economical. I wish I had found it years ago. I wish she'd had it, but it just wasn't time. What you get for your either $7 or $25, you're going to get a complete shopping list by recipe. They're very nicely laid out. And they've got check boxes, so you can check them off as you're shopping for groceries. They're organized by recipe on this sheet. You also get a complete shopping list by store, section, or category. You get a freezer meal prep day shopping list by recipe, so if you just wanted to use that one particular recipe or you wanted to mix and match your recipes, you could do that. You get freezer meal prep day shopping list by store, section, or category. So that's a lot of different lists. You can pick and choose which ones are going to be easier for your family. Also, one of the things I did want to mention is when you go into her website, if you're getting the combo thing, you actually are going, you can click the recipes that you want, and that site will automatically generate your grocery list for you, and will automatically generate all of these lists for you based on the recipes you pick. It's not a preset menu, so if your family doesn't like pineapple, then you can just avoid the ingredients, the recipes that have pineapple in them as an ingredient. So I loved that. I printed all of these lists in black and white. The site is actually in color. If you want to use a color printer and print these out, I do better if the things that I work from are pretty, and so I do tend to like color printouts, but they're expensive. So we're budgeting around here. We use black and white printing for our menus and recipes. There are gluten-free and dairy-free changes to each recipe that can have them. A good example is tonight I made barbecue chicken quesadillas. Okay, well, getting gluten-free and dairy-free quesadillas, there wasn't an option. It even says, unfortunately, we cannot make this, I think, dairy-free. But most of the recipes have a gluten-free or dairy-free ingredient option to allow you to make those recipes better for your family and your family's needs. There are alternative cooking directions. Each pack of recipes that you get, I just love this, have printable labels. So when you print out your little packet like I did that came with all these sheets, it also has the labels. And she tells you which Avery label number to use. We actually didn't have those, and I wanted to use what we had. So what we had, my oldest daughter, Courtney, found some whole sheet labels. So we just printed these labels out on the whole sheets, and I cut them apart. And it worked just as well. So how this plan works. You're going to get the plans. You're going to look them over. You're going to check your pantry to see which ingredients you already have. I did have some of these ingredients already in my pantry. And then you're going to get the needed ingredients from the store. You're going to come home. You're going to spend some time prepping. That means deboning chicken, pre-cooking your pasta so you don't have to do that. You're going to have everything sort of sorted and organized. For me, I have literally one sink full of dishes that I have to do tonight after making all 8 of these meals plus our dinner. So because you're cooking all of these meals at once, you can just reuse your dishes. So that's saving me on dishes already. You're going to spend 1 hour assembling the ingredients for about 10 meals in your freezer. Okay, for me it was 50 minutes, but again, I had not done any of the prep work. So I think this would go really, really incredibly fast if I had done that preparation work. Really quick note, when you're filling the bags, if your recipe is going into a gallon-sized Ziploc, the very easiest way to do that is to use a tea pitcher and drape the bag with the top of it coming up over the sides, because this keeps you from, you don't think you're going to do it, but trust me, you will. It keeps you from spilling food in the threads of the zipper bag, so that when you have filled it up, it'll hold the liquid and all of that down here. If you try to fill this out of this what's going to happen is the food and the liquid inside is going to become so heavy it's going to spill over on your countertop, especially if you're doing several at one time. So the easier way is to line up a bunch of tea pitchers or bowls or whatever you have like this, drape them over. It's going to hold the food, and then when you're done, you can just lift it out, roll the top back over, and then seal it shut neatly, and that'll keep everything clean and contained. So I just wanted to mention that. You're going to pull your meal out when you decide when you want to use these meals. You're going to pull your meal out and you're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight, and so that it can partially thaw and get ready for the next day. And then you're going to cook as directed. Your labels that she has pre-done for you, when you print them out, they're going to tell you what the cooking instructions are. Going back to the types of meals, one of the things I did was just choose all chicken meals. I am picky about cross-contamination in my kitchen, so I tend to either make all chicken, all pork, or all beef meals at a time when I'm doing freezer cooking. You may have a different preference, but that's why all of my meals tonight are chicken. I'm going to choose another night to do my pork meals, which is what I had chosen. But I did want to mention that because you might choose to do it differently. And then the next night, when you get ready to cook, you just cook as directed. This is the main dish. This does not include your side dishes or bread or dessert if you're going to have that. So you would want to add those things. Just keep that in mind. So, for instance, my barbecue chicken is going to take cheese and quesadillas. This is the main part of my meal that I have to go in the freezer. When I get ready to freeze these, what I'm going to do is take my tortillas and cheese and tape them to the package with my barbecue chicken, so that on a night when we're getting ready, or the night before we're getting ready to have this meal, the kids just have to take that out and put it in the fridge, and then it will be all the ingredients in a package that I need for that night's meal. So let's see. Tonight, I wanted to tell you I had the meals, the recipes that I chose. I just chose 3 because I was just testing this. I just wanted to know how it would work. Were barbecue chicken quesadillas, basil balsamic chicken, chicken and broccoli Alfredo bake. So I will say for a family my size, which is colossal, I have to double these recipes to make sure there's enough food for everybody at one meal. So when you think I'm doubling these, that would mean that each meal, I'm thinking feeds, this is going to feed, at least, 15 people, 14 people probably for me to have doubled these. So you're looking at a meal that's going to feed easily probably 6 or 7 people with a side dish. So that may be helpful for you to know. Individual recipes. They also, if you're just going to make this meal for one meal, and you're not freezing it or whatever, you could do that because the recipes are good. And so this recipe sheet also has the instructions for just making a single meal. If you may want to just freeze it by itself, or you may want to make it for dinner that night. So you do have that option. Again, when you do things like rotisserie chicken, just a quick note here, rotisserie chicken makes the absolute best stock or broth, and so I just saved those bones and threw them over in the roaster oven, so I'll be able to make 7 quarts of stock from what I paid for all of this too. And I am going to calculate, I've saved all my receipts, I'm going to calculate how much these 7 meals cost me to make so that I can tell you, based on what I have, how much a week's worth of dinners basically would have cost. And another quick tip, my friend Beth, thanks Beth, did mention that the rotisserie chickens, the day after they're made, get moved from the deli where they're kept hot sometimes to the refrigerated section. And she was saying she had found rotisserie chickens for about $2.50, I think I remember her saying. That was not the case at my Walmart. They were still full price over there, but it may be for you. And that would be a really cheap way to get some rotisserie chickens if you plan on doing this. There are a couple of things that I found that were cons to this. I do think that it is a little more pricey than other meal plans on the internet that I found, and it's because it has pre-made ingredients. For instance, the chicken and broccoli Alfredo bake came with pre-made, you're supposed to mix in pre-made Alfredo sauce. That is a little more pricey than if you were to make it yourself, and of course there's ingredients in there you might not want. I would tell you, if you want to adjust that and you really just want the convenience of using the pre-made ingredients, by all means, go for it. It's your family, If you're good with that, then so be it. I tend to not use those ingredients. We tend to make everything fresh because it's cheaper and I know exactly what's in it. And a lot of these things have sugars and preservatives and things we just don't want. So what I would probably do if I knew I was making these ingredients is I would just plan on, like if a recipe takes spaghetti sauce, I'm going to probably keep some of my spaghetti sauce out on the day that I'm canning it, knowing that I would be making freezer meals, you know, within that next few days. So that's just something that I wanted to mention. However, these meals are so easy, and this plan is so well organized. I think it's every penny worth the $25. I think because it is so organized, you're going to save at least $25 when you go to the store. I know you will in water to wash your dishes, you know, the time, just everything that it takes to prepare these meals separately because you're doing it so much more efficiently. I truly believe over time you would save at least that much. So that is it. I love FreezEasy. I'm going to write a summary of all of this that I've mentioned in this video over on my blog, Lines from the Vine. I will probably use this program for a very long time because I just like it that much. If I want to mention, if you have a product or service that you want tested by a big family, we will put it through the paces. And I'll tell you honestly what I think. I would love to take a look at what you got. So you can email me or leave me a message over at my blog on Lines from the Vine. Anyway, I have loved this. It's been fun. I love being in the kitchen. We actually own a home bakery, and so this is just one of those things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy trying to make my home run more efficiently. I think that's something that the Lord expects a woman to do in her home. So this has been a great program to use. Anyway, all right, I'd love to know what you think. If you've tried FreezEasy, if you would like to try it, please visit my affiliate link that I'm going to link to in the box below this window. You know, I think that there's like a trial thing you can do. And anyway, have fun. I would love to know what you think. Good night.